No mai haere mai, and welcome to Frogs on Friday, the Frog Recruitment Employment and Market Update. Today I'm joined by Peter Crestani from our Wellington branch. He's going to give us some of the inside word into the policy sector in Wellington. We'll go through mahimedia. It's a little bit of, I guess it depends on how you look at it, but maybe a little bit of bad news this week. And we'll go through some of our hot jobs as usual and our poll results. So let's start with mahimedia. All right, so the word on the street is of a virtual pay cut. And I guess this comes from a bit of a disconnect between inflation and wage growth. So we have seen that wages are increasing across the board, which is good news. But unfortunately, it hasn't quite caught up with the rising living costs, as I'm sure you're all feeling. And what that means is, although you're not literally being paid less, or hopefully not, it will feel like a virtual pay cut because your weekly wages or salary just aren't going to go as far as previously with the rapidly rising living costs that we have. And people are really starting to feel that pressure. On the ground level here, we're starting to see it affect people's decision making. So we've had lots of cases where candidates may come to us and say, look, I really love where I work, really enjoying things there, love the team, but I've asked about a pay rise and they're just not in a position to be able to do that. And I'm not sure how much longer I can keep things up or be able to cope with the increased living costs. So we're starting to see that people reluctantly coming to us and looking at new opportunities when usually they wouldn't do so. So seeing some shifts in the market there. I guess it's a case of watch this space. So the rates for wage growth came out for the March quarter, but we're still waiting on the June quarter results. So hopefully we'll see an increase there from the 3%, closer to that whopping 7.3% for the inflation rate. But there is, it's not all bad news. So again, as always, it does mean that you're in that position to be able to ask the question for that salary rise or increase in conditions where you are. And we did see some good news with the 8% pay rise to Auckland bus drivers. So shout out to the wonderful bus drivers around Tamaki Makaurau, and well deserved, and good to see that coming through. We did see that over 80% of the workers who we surveyed hadn't had a pay rise this year. Or if they had, it was well short of that 7.3% inflation rate. So as I said, we're hoping to see that improve, but use that as a bargaining chip and another reason for asking the question if your conditions can be improved at your current workplace so that you don't have to look at other options. Okay, so speaking of other options, let's go through and have a look at some of the hot jobs that we have at the moment. Okay, so first up, we have a client manager role working within events. This one's based in the Auckland CBD and paying between 65 to 75k as a base salary. So really working within a team environment within the client services team. And I guess that go between your customers and the internal operations as well. Important to know about keep up to date with industry requirements and developments in this area. If you're interested in this role, contact Julia Yen or Angela Yee, who's also working on this role. Okay, what's next? Okay, so we have a legal secretary. This is a temp position based in Wellington. So this one's paying up to $37 per hour, plus, of course, the 8% holiday pay, and it's part-time role. So looking at working 4 days a week between the 25th of August, so a little bit of time before this one starts, so put your hand up now, through to 30th of September. For this one here, this one's being run by Chitra and our Wellington team. And we also have another temp role. So this is an accounts payable role working with a software company. Temp again, and but full-time hours, and looking for a period of around about 2 months or so. So the focus of the role is on accounts payable, but you'll also be working within reconciliations as well. I know for this one as well, if you do have experience with foreign exchange, that will be an advantage for this position. If you're interested, feel free to get in touch with Kirsty Hennigan, who is running this role from our Auckland office. Okay, and then we'll move on. I think we have a video showcasing one of our hot jobs at the moment.
Hi, I'm Elsie from Frog Recruitment in Wellington, and if you are a project coordinator looking for your next opportunity in Wellington, I would love to hear from you. I'm recruiting for various permanent and fixed-term project coordinators across the government sector. Now, the ideal candidate will have 2 years or more experience working as a project coordinator within the government sector. It will be nice, interesting and varied work with flexible work options available. You will be required to assist the PM to identify, define requirements, scopes and objectives, as well as assisting with schedule management. You'll also be required to maintain project documentation and prepare the necessary project reporting. We are looking for candidates with excellent communication skills who can be flexible and adaptable in a project environment, and project coordinator skills are a must, and a project-related qualification will be desirable. The salary range for these roles are negotiable depending on your skills and experience. Now, if you are keen to learn more, please reach out to me. I would love to hear from you on my email. It's elsri@frogrecruitment.co.nz. Thanks. Goodbye.
Okay, welcome, Peter. So we're into the second half of the year already. I feel like I say this every year, but it's speeding through again. What's happening in the policy space in Wellington?
It's really busy, and there's a lot of opportunities around. It's a really competitive marketplace for candidates at the moment. So if candidates are looking, they'll often have a number of opportunities to consider. It's probably the toughest market that we've seen since I've been recruiting for about 20 years. So we've got a lot of people that are looking, as you've alluded to in the virtual pay cuts discussion, that they're looking for a pay increase. They can't get it in their current role, so they're looking to move for more money. And I think sometimes that's a sole reason, but candidates need to really think about that as one of the number of components to moving to a new job. So candidates will have often either counter offers, multiple opportunities. Not everyone, but it's happening a lot. I think if you're a hiring manager, you need to still make sure you do your due diligence about getting the right person. Candidates, you need to do due diligence as well, make sure it's the right kind of opportunity for you. For the clients, I'm describing to them that you need to be patient, methodical, yet ruthless without being reckless. And what I mean by that is, it's all contradiction. So you want to get the right person, because if you don't get the right person, it causes you a lot of heartache later on. But when you do see someone, you need to really move quickly. And it's kind of the same on the candidate side. You want to get the right position, and that's components around the technical aspects of the role, the team, the work program, that sort of thing. A lot of roles also aren't advertised at the moment. There are quite a few that are, but I would guess that something like a quarter to a third of roles are actually advertised. There's a lot that have either been advertised and the client can't find them, or for some reason they haven't yet got to advertising roles. And also there's a lot of internal secondments happening that create opportunities that you're not always aware of. So it's kind of like a hidden job market underneath that's not visible. Also, in the permanent side, the time to recruit can take quite some time because clients can't find the right kind of person. And we've had quite a number of candidates who are looking to move up, and because of the jobs shortage, the candidate shortage, that they're wanting to jump up into a new organisation. The clients are going, well, yeah, look, you've got the potential, but come on board for 6 months. Let's see how it works, and then take the step up. So that can be challenging for people looking for that time to move up into a new opportunity. I think I'd just advocate around looking for more money. Just remember, as a candidate, it's not just about the money. You've got to have that career progression, development, good organisation, cultural fit with the people, the personality fit's really, really important. And when you get to my stage of life, when you're a little bit older, you never remember the money. You always remember if it was a good job, if it helped you to get into the right space. But $5,000 or $10,000 is not going to be something you're going to remember in the longer term. So there's kind of a balancing act, and we're all getting caught with that rising inflation, the costs, and it's not just in New Zealand, it's right around the Western world. And so everyone's facing it. So it's quite a difficult market really for hiring managers. Good for candidates, but just really make sure that you're doing things for the right reasons, not just for chasing the dollars.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think that the US seems to have experienced the Great Resignation before us, and as those stages ahead. But now all the talks are about the Great Regret as well. So a lot of those people who did chase the dollars and made those early moves have gone, oh, actually, was the grass actually greener after all, or maybe I've made a mistake here. So yes, it's the best time to be asking for a pay rise, but remember, the money isn't everything, and it needs to be that total package, or looking at all the other aspects that are important as well when you're making those decisions. Excellent. Yeah. Well, and I know you're not going to be one to toot your own horn, but definitely some good reasons in there to be able to talk to a professional within that policy space. As you said, it's about having that network and knowing the internal movements that aren't always going to be advertised, and having your ear to the ground. So if you're a policy candidate, be sure to get in touch with Peter and the team in Wellington to get the inside word and what's happening in the policy space.
Great. Thanks, Shannon. We'd love to hear from anyone.
Excellent. All right. Let's go to the polls. Okay, so last week we asked if it's acceptable in this kind of market where it is hard to find staff to poach. There was a resounding yes, go for it. 69% said yes. If it finds the best talent, you got to do what you got to do. So looks like all's fair in love and war at the moment. So yeah, interesting to see that one. Let's look at this week's. So we've been talking a lot about pay increases and whether or not that's keeping up. So we're asking, has your employer offered you a pay increase in the last 12 months? And if they have, was it over 7% or not quite there? Or have you not received one at all? So we'll see how that's moving. Hopefully we'll get closer, some good amounts in the yes boxes there. Okay, that's it for this week. We'll be back as always next Friday at 12:30. Look forward to seeing you there. Ngā mihi nui.